So here we go again, another year, another ESPN Top 100 list that makes everybody angry. And I mean, I can understand the frustration because these lists have had some weird placements in the past. Like when they put Lonzo Ball over Carmelo Anthony even though Lonzo hadn't even played a game yet. Like, I get that these are predictions and the Lonzo hype was at an all-time high, but like, come on! You can't put him over the man that just averaged 22 points in the previous season. This video isn't really going to be going through the entire list, I'm just going to be pointing out some of the obvious biases here and there, and also just the things that are going to be flat out wrong. Like, no debate, some of these are going to be wrong if injury isn't a factor. So let's get into the video. So let's just start with this because I mean this entire section makes no sense. For one, you have Patrick Beverley over Seth Curry, which doesn't make much sense considering the only thing that Patrick Beverley has over him is defense, but Steph Curry has him in almost everything else like scoring, shooting, playmaking, but that's not the worst part. Because if we go up, we find Buddy Hield at 87, which you might think that's okay, that's not too terrible, but we have Demar Derozan and John Wall all the way down here at 82 and 81, which I think is extremely disrespectful for both of them. In John Wall's case, you may say, well, he hasn't played in 2 years, but keep in mind that these are predictions, and yeah, John Wall is not gonna be all the way down here, given what we're seeing from him in preseason already. But here's the kicker. All these guys, Buddy Hield, John Wall, DeMar DeRozan, are all ranked below KCP, who is at 77. You see the problem, right? So let's keep going. So going through the next 20 or so spots, I don't really have any problems other than the fact that I think PJ Tucker and D'Lo are just a tad too low, but at the same time, I don't really have any issues with them being where they are. Let's talk about this because this is something that I've been seeing people talk about. Lonzo Ball is at 54. Now, I can see why people may think that he's being overrated being all the way up here, but you also have to remember that New Orleans is going to be a decent to good team this season with a lot of options to go to. And so him being the playmaker, I can see why they might have him up here because I mean, he has JJ Redick to go to, Steven Adams, Zion, Brandon Ingram, and so when you look at it like that, I can see why he's up here. However, this comes back to the guys that I pointed out earlier, because there is no way that John Wall is going to be that far behind Lonzo, and even Buddy Hield isn't even going to be that far behind. The problem is simply just those guys are just rated way too low. So this is another thing that I've been seeing mixed opinions on, DeAndre Ayton over Jusuf Nurkic. And at first I agreed with the take that Nurkic should be over Ayton, but after considering the situations, you can make the assumption that DeAndre Ayton is going to have a better season because of the Suns trading for Chris Paul. And as we all know, he's one of the greatest point guards ever, and he works really well with centers like him. So I think that this placement makes sense. They're still pretty close though, so I don't see too much of an issue if you have Nurkic ahead of him. But now let's talk about the one that really just made me upset, to be honest. Number 36, Russell Westbrook. You have him ranked behind Chris Middleton, De'Aaron Fox, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Ja Morant, and Kyle Lowry. Also Trae Young, but there's a chance that he might explode this season, being this is only his third season, so I'm holding out on that. But like everyone that I just named, I can't understand why Russ is constantly getting disrespected like this. I mean, I think he talks a little too much, but he's still one of the best point guards in the league at the moment, at any given time. And this was the bias that I was talking about at the start of the video. It's the recency bias, because Russell Westbrook did not have a good playoff run in the bubble. 17.9 points, 4.6 assists, but I feel like those people are forgetting what happened beforehand. Because back in the regular season, you might remember that James Harden was having easily one of his worst stretches in his career in Houston. From just after the new year until February 20th, he averaged 29.1 points and shot 37% from the field. And so the Rockets tried something different and had Westbrook being the number one option, and he had one of the best stretches of his career. In that same time span, Russell Westbrook averaged 33.1 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 7.8 assists, and was shooting 53%. And this stretch of games was actually enough to start those arguments of whose team actually is this? Is it Russ's team or Harden's team? Those were real conversations that we were having, but they ended up putting the ball back in Harden's hands because he cannot play off ball. like at all. And so that eventually led to what we saw in the bubble, combined with him coming off an injury, which only made it worse because he has no rhythm coming back from injury, and now James Harden is dribbling the ball. That situation in the playoffs with Harden being the ball handler with a guard that came off of injury, it reminds me of the season before when Chris Paul got injured during the season. Now, I understand that Chris Paul's injury was earlier in the season, but the concept is still the same, because Harden was still playing nearly the exact same way when he got back. And so what happened in the playoffs? Chris Paul didn't play well, got all the blame, got called washed, then got traded to another team, and proved to everyone that he's still an elite point guard despite the media having no faith in him or the team. Are you seeing where I'm going with this? Like, it's the same thing that happened with Chris Paul. And so Russell Westbrook will prove to us that he is still the MVP caliber player that we know, because now he's the leader of the team again, and he has a shooting guard that can play off ball. And so I have no doubts about Russell Westbrook coming into this season. This is really, like, this is the main reason that I wanted to make this video, which is why I spent so much time on it, because we've seen this multiple times before. For example, you know who else was extremely underrated after a bad playoff series coming off of injury? Let me just show you this screenshot from the 2016 draft and just think for a second who might be missing. Yeah, exactly. The guy who just got every single person to vote him for MVP. Like, this isn't new, so I'm calling it out here. But yeah, Russ being all the way down here is ridiculous, is the only word to use. Next. So Paul George being up here at 20, I'm not even gonna waste my time on this, because if the playoffs actually factored into these placements like they did for Russell Westbrook, then he shouldn't even be anywhere near 20 if you actually wanted to keep that consistency. So number 10, Nicola Jokic. I don't have a huge problem with this. The guys down here are not the greatest defenders, which is why they're down here and not closer to the top. And I feel like James Harden and Steph Curry are better offensive players than Jokic. So I've seen people saying things about that too, but I think he's right where he should be. Now, if he was outside of the top 10, then it would be a problem, but here we go. 9 James Harden, 8 Steph Curry, which is correct. I'm sorry to the Rockets fans that still think he's the greatest scorer ever, but also complain about him being double teamed, but yeah. Now, 7 Damian Lillard. I'm not even gonna waste my time here either, because I have a 9-minute video breaking down this exact argument, so you can check that out if you want to see my thoughts on that. And I don't think that this season is gonna change my stance on that argument. So everything else, Kevin Durant 6, Kawhi 5, Luka 4, Giannis 3, 82, LeBron 1, those are all fine to me. I mean, I think Luka has a chance to become the best player in the NBA, and he's my pick to win MVP, but I have no problem with the top 5. So, title of the video, why do we keep doing this to ourselves? Because we know that every season when this list comes out, we're already going into it thinking about what they've gotten wrong, and I just can't understand it. I think it's just the constant need for debate that we just naturally have as humans, because we debate about every possible thing in this sport. We debate about current players, past players, future players, teams, stats, lists, like all these different things, because we just need something to debate about, and these lists are perfect for that, and ESPN knows that. But the problem is that people don't know this, and sometimes take these lists as fact. Believe me, I've seen it. And so when you look at it like that, it can become problematic, because then we have analysts repeating these same things, and that's when we have the people that take these lists and just run with them, and then we're just debating nonstop. Like, that's what they do. So I'm gonna do what they want and ask you guys to let me know about what you think down below about this list. Do you have the same thoughts as me, or did you think the list was fairly accurate? But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new, hit the bell to be notified when I upload, comment down below what you want to see next, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Bruh, what the hell? Damn, they got DeMar DeRozan at 82.
Don't even know who that is.
Buddy Hield at 87.
Hold on, we're putting John Wall, who hasn't played in 2 years, literally 2 years, over LaMarcus and DeRozan? Okay, I mean...
DeMar DeRozan? That disrespectful, bro. Come on, bro. Y'all got him below Caldwell Pope?
Josh Richardson at 80. Okay, Richardson in front of DeRozan and John Wall.
KCP? Hold on, KCP? Over...
Zach LaVine at 56? Hell no!
Okay, helping him out because he's going to be on a good team. But then why do you have John Wall? So you can think Christian Wood is going to have a better season than John Wall.
They gotta be doing this for clicks. There's no way. Nurkic, Deandre, like this is people that get paid to like watch the NBA and analyze the NBA and write articles about the NBA. Westbrook at 36?
Did he just have MVP the last 5? Bro, this is the guy who was averaging a triple-double a season.
Whoa! Steph at 8? Steph at 8. Okay. It's Lillard in front of Steph.
I know he didn't play a lot last season, man, but we're talking about Steph Curry.
Number 5, I thought this was ridiculous too, Rob. Kawhi Leonard. Ridiculous.
As I said, ESPN every year, it's like their lists are highly questionable. I think they might do it for clicks, man.
This doesn't even make sense.